Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Just minutes ago, the news broke that Saints quarterback Jake Haener has been popped for PEDs. Our friend Brooke Kirchhoffer at New Orleans on Football tweeted the statement from the NFL. Jake Haener of the Saints has been suspended without pay for the first 6 games of 2023 regular season for violating the NFL policy on performance-enhancing substances. Haener will be eligible to return to the Saints active roster on Monday, October the 16th. There's a lot to unpack here. We obviously now know why the New Orleans Saints changed Taysom Hill's designation from tight end to quarterback. They knew this was coming for Jake Haener. We have to talk, obviously, about what this means. Now you won't have to keep Jake Haener on your active roster or as a game day active, which you wouldn't have anyway had he been an emergency third quarterback with that new rule. And maybe the Saints do get creative now with Taysom as their number 2 potentially, and Jameis can be the emergency 3. We'll see what they all elect to do. So there's a lot going on here. But I think most of us rational humans, when we saw this news, even though it's literally just minutes ago, had the exact same reaction. How in the hell Jake Haener on PEDs? Have you seen the guy? Like, Jake Haener, the guy who's taking glamour shot photos for his team's staff roster directory? Jake Haener, who's about as big as my right leg? Does anyone really believe Jake Haener, who is listed by the Saints at 6'1", 200 pounds, is actually 6'1", 200 pounds? Have you stood next to Jake Haener? Muse, have you stood next to Jake Haener?
I haven't.
I would love to see that because you're not a big guy.
I'm not.
Not trying to insult you, Muse, but if I had to guess, you're probably about 5'6". Yeah?
Yeah, right around there.
Okay, 5'6". My guess is you and Jake Haener probably pretty close to eye. He might have you by a nose.
He's got to be like 5'10", I would
might
think,
have
right?
you by a nose. Yeah. Paulie, you stood by Jake Haener ever? No, yes, maybe.
I have not, no.
You have not stood by Jake Haener, no. But I'm going to go ahead on a limb and say Jake Haener at 6'1", 200 pounds is baloney. I'm straight up 6 foot. I'm a little heavier than 200 pounds. But I'm telling you, Jake Haener ain't 6'1", 200 pounds. You know, whenever I think of PEDs in the NFL, I think of Sean Merriman. Remember Sean Merriman, the Chargers linebacker? And he would do his, what was the celebration? He would do the lights out celebration when he would pump like that. Like, you could look at Sean Merriman, who looked like a real life action figure, and then you heard the news he got popped for PEDs, and you go, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I got it. Like, when you heard Barry Bonds got popped for PEDs, you're like, oh, like, I remember. I remember when Barry was in Pittsburgh, and he was a pencil. I mean, Barry was the real-life incarnation of a pencil. That's what he was. Super thin, just like that. He's a pencil. And then Barry gets to San Francisco, and Barry was he was a San Francisco Giant, and Barry was a literal giant as well. His hat size went up like 5 sizes. You're like, oh, okay, I get it. PEDs, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, steroid era, got it, sure. Balco, all that stuff. Jake Haener? I mean, Jake Haener looks like the Saints kicker. What's that kid's name? Groupie, yeah. Jake Haener and Blake Groupie need to do a side-by-side for the smallest guy on the team. You're going to tell me that guy got popped for PEDs? Jake. Come on, man. Like, if you're doing PEDs, Jake, at least do the good ones that are going to make you bigger. Jake, they're not working.
For what it's worth, Blake Groupie's listed at 5'7", 157. So just for comparison's sake.
Get me a picture of Jake Haener and Blake Groupie standing side by internet. I need you to do this for me, internet. Internet, go find me a picture of Jake Haener and Blake Groupie side by side. I need to see it. Got to see it. Jake Haener, PEDs. What is the world coming to? I mean, Mark McGuire, got it. Bass Brothers in Oakland to what he was in Jose Canseco. All the baseball, got it. All the baseball guys, got it. There's some surprising ones.
Yeah.
Patrick Peterson.
Pat Pete, yeah, he got popped.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Hopkins got popped.
It ain't a big deal it's so weird. It's just not a big deal in the NFL. We don't care.
Yeah.
Like, people are enraged when baseball players cheat and get popped. In football, it's like, 6 games. We get it.
Edelman.
Julian Edelman got popped for PEDs.
Also not a very big person.
No. But he's bigger than Jake. He's at least thicker than Jake Haener.
Thicker for sure.
Yeah. Jake Haener.
Think he's even more angry he got suspended since it didn't really work. He's still, just tiny guy.
Here, all I'm gonna say is, like, if I'm gonna do PEDs, I better look like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I better look like, do you ever scroll on TikTok and you get the ads for like V-Shred or whatever that thing? Or do you ever do TikTok?
I mean, Instagram's the same thing.
Sure. You ever get the ads for V-Shred?
Yeah.
It's that guy who's always like, I love donuts. It's not about carbs. And it's like that dude. He's just, he's like shoulders this big, waist this big. You know what I mean? Like that guy got 17 abs. Like,
skips
if I'm
leg day.
If I'm doing PEDs, I gotta look like that guy. Jake Haener, PEDs. Roger Clemens. No, it was he misremembers. It was B12. It was a B12 shot. Hey, Raj, like, love you, Rocket, all that stuff. Yankee fan, throwing the bat at Mike Piazza. I'm with you every step of the way, brother. Monument Park, rubbing Babe Ruth's head in Monument Park before every start. I was right there with you, bro. Who are you kidding? Jake Haener. Roger Clemens, that's what you should look like when you've been on PEDs. You should gain 50 pounds of muscle. Jake Haener? Oh. Jake Haener looks like someone just shoved him in a locker. Maybe that's why he got on PEDs.
Potentially. Yeah, it makes sense.
Oh, Blake Groupie, look out, you're next.
Yeah.
Out there.
They're really not going to recognize Groupie then.
Picking on the little ones. All right. Whatever. I will say, though, that I am curious. Clearly, this is why the Saints changed the Taysom designation from tight end to quarterback. But I will be very curious to see if they decide to take advantage of the third quarterback rule, the emergency quarterback rule, have Jameis dressed but not count against the actives. And if it's a way to sneak another active player onto the roster for game day. And maybe, and if you get into a situation where if something were to happen to Derek Carr, then Taysom goes and plays quarterback. Like, it is an actual, really plausible thing that you could do in a given week to sneak somebody else onto the active roster for game day. So maybe they do it. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.